For centuries, science was dominated by men. But some women dared to challenge the impossible, and changed the world forever. Have you ever wondered how many scientific breakthroughs were made by women who never received the recognition they deserved? They defied the rules, faced prejudice, and revolutionized human knowledge. But do you know their names? Stick around to find out how these women changed history. Women who transformed science. Their historic and innovative impact. The history of science is filled with discoveries, innovations, and breakthroughs that changed the course of humanity. Yet, the women who played essential roles in these achievements have often been overlooked, erased from conventional narratives. For centuries, science was an inaccessible field for women. Many were barred from universities, their work was undervalued, and in some cases, their discoveries were stolen or credited to male colleagues. However, some scientists defied societal conventions, broke barriers, and paved the way for future generations. Today, we'll explore 6 extraordinary women who changed science forever. Get ready for an inspiring journey filled with courage, talent, and determination. 1. Dorothy Vaughan, 1910 to 2008, a pioneer in computing and mathematics. Dorothy Vaughan was a mathematician and computer scientist who worked at NASA during the space race. She was one of the human computers, a group of black women who performed complex calculations by hand before the invention of modern computers. Vaughan not only mastered programming skills but also became the head of NASA's Fortran programming group, making her one of the first women in a technical leadership role at the agency. In addition to facing gender discrimination, Dorothy also endured racial segregation, working in a separate division within NASA. Despite these challenges, her intelligence and determination made her a key contributor to the success of U.S. space missions. Dorothy Vaughan taught women at NASA how to program at a time when very few had access to such technology, paving the way for future generations of computer scientists. Her story was immortalized in the film Hidden Figures, which showcases how she helped launch rockets and send astronauts into space. 2. Marie Curie, 1867 to 1934, the mother of radioactivity and a physics pioneer. Marie Curie was one of the most remarkable scientists in history and the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. She was also the first person to win 2 Nobel Prizes in different fields, physics and chemistry. Her research on radiation and the discovery of polonium and radium not only revolutionized physics, but also had significant implications for cancer treatment. Curie defied social norms by entering a male-dominated field and dedicated her life to scientific advancement, even at great personal risk due to radiation exposure. Despite her incredible contributions, Curie faced strong resistance from the scientific community. She was rejected by the French Academy of Sciences simply because she was a woman. Additionally, her work with radioactive materials was extremely hazardous, and prolonged exposure led to her death from leukemia, a danger she and many others at the time were unaware of. 3. Rosalind Franklin, 1920 to 1958, the scientist behind the discovery of DNA. Rosalind Franklin was a scientist whose X-ray diffraction experiments were crucial in understanding DNA's structure. Her work allowed for the capture of detailed images of the DNA molecule, providing the foundation for the discovery of the double helix. However, her colleagues James Watson and Francis Crick used her findings without permission and received the Nobel Prize, while Franklin's contribution was largely ignored due to the sexism prevalent in the scientific community at the time. Franklin was a pioneer in using X-rays to study biological molecules, and her research paved the way for deeper studies in genetics and molecular biology. Her name only gained widespread recognition decades after her death, making her a symbol of the lack of acknowledgement women often face in science. 4. Ada Lovelace, 1815 to 1852, the first computer programmer. Ada Lovelace, daughter of the poet Lord Byron, is widely recognized as the first computer programmer in history. She worked with Charles Babbage on his analytical engine, a precursor to modern computers, and wrote the first algorithm designed to be processed by a machine. Her work foresaw the potential of computers to perform tasks beyond simple numerical calculations, anticipating concepts related to artificial intelligence and computer graphics. Even though she was born into an aristocratic family, Ada faced obstacles simply because she was a woman. Society at the time discouraged women from studying mathematics and science, but she defied those limitations and left a legacy that was only truly recognized more than a century after her death. 5. Jane Goodall, 1934-present, the revolutionary primatologist. Jane Goodall is one of the most respected scientists in primatology and is widely known for her work with chimpanzees in Gom National Park, Tanzania. Her observations of chimpanzee behavior changed the way scientists perceive animals, revealing that they are far more similar to humans than previously thought. Goodall challenged traditional scientific approaches, which viewed animals as mere objects of study, and her ethological approach humanized primates. Her discoveries showed that primates use tools, have complex social bonds, and even express emotions, challenging traditional scientific perspectives on animals. Initially, her research was ridiculed by other scientists, but Goodall proved her worth and became one of the greatest advocates for animal rights and environmental conservation. 6. Rachel Carson and the fight against pesticides. Rachel Carson, 1907 to 1964, was a marine biologist and writer who revolutionized the way we perceive humanity's impact on the environment. Her book Silent Spring, published in 1962, exposed the dangers of chemical pesticides, particularly DDT, which was contaminating soil, rivers, and killing thousands of species, including birds and insects essential to ecological balance. What set Carson apart was how she presented her findings. Instead of writing an inaccessible technical report, she used poetic and metaphorical language, making the book engaging and easy to read. This allowed even those without a scientific background to understand the hidden dangers of pesticides. The book reached a broad audience, sparking widespread concern and increasing public pressure for change. Carson faced intense attacks from the chemical industry, which attempted to discredit her, accused her of fearmongering, and even suggested that, as a woman, she was incapable of understanding complex scientific issues. However, the impact of her research was so profound that her book became a landmark in environmental awareness, leading to the ban of DDT in the US and the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. Her legacy continues in the ongoing fight for a more sustainable planet. The power of women in science and beyond. These extraordinary women not only transformed science, but also defied societal norms and paved the way for future generations. Their legacies continue to inspire millions around the world, proving that determination and talent can change the world, even in the face of adversity. The stories of these scientists remind us that every woman should have the right to choose her own path, whether in science, the arts, business, or any field she desires. Talent, intelligence, and dedication are not defined by gender, and the historical barriers women have faced only reinforce the importance of continuing the fight for equal opportunities. Every woman has the power to pursue her dreams, challenge expectations, and leave her mark on the world. Now, how do you feel about these inspiring stories? Which of these scientists impressed you the most? Were you already familiar with all these contributions to the modern world? If you know a woman currently conducting research or contributing to science, share her story in the comments. We'd love to hear about today's brilliant scientists. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories about science and the women who shaped our history. See you in the next video.